Welcome back. Be sure to subscribe. Let's get right to it. First topic, Donald Trump says he's pulling Maine's federal funding because they're not adhering to his executive order banning men and women's sports. Here's a clip.
I heard men are still playing in Maine. Is anybody here from Maine? Who is that? Is that the governor? That's, well, I hate to tell you this, but we're not going to give them any federal money. They are still saying we want men to play in women's sports, and I cannot believe that they're doing that. They are, let's find out who that guy is that raised his hand. Maybe he's just kidding. But, so we're not going to give him any federal funding, none whatsoever, until they clean that up.
All right, you just got to love him doing this. I mean, first of all, that's a classic clip, number one. And yeah, you see what's going on is the guy has the mandate of the people. And when you have the mandate of the people, it gives you the right to just tell Maine, hey, Maine, if you're not going to do what I'm saying you should do and what the people of America are telling you to do and want me to tell you to do, that you're going to lose your federal funding. And any other, school or state, you want to test it, you want to test the will of the people, you're losing it. You're losing the funding. And if, pretending like you're, protecting somebody's rights, maybe, a couple trans kids' rights in your state. Well, I guess in a state, it's probably, way more because, look at this video. I'll just post this video of this kid in San Francisco. It's this boy playing basketball with girls. The kid sucks, yet he's still dominating the girls. But yeah, this is how it goes now. The mandate of the people tells Donald Trump, we voted for you because we voted for you to end all this lunacy. And we want to see it happen. And look at, he's doing exactly what the people told him to do. But all right, next topic. Kash Patel has officially been confirmed as the director of the FBI. And this is just another great moment here because this is the final piece in place for the Trump cabinet. And I'm sure he's really happy about this one because this Kash Patel guy, he's real. He's a Donald Trump guy, and Donald Trump basically hates the FBI, especially after they raided Mar-a-Lago. They went through Melania's, clothes, and they went through Barron's room. I think, this is first of all, it's going to be a whole revamption of the FBI where it's just not going to be some corrupt system that's used to, weaponize against political adversaries, like obviously the FBI and the Department of Justice just were in this past election. But yeah, we're finally probably going to be getting back to the FBI is on Team America again, not just Team screw over that guy. And you're going to see a lot of people getting taken down here because, there's a lot of people out there, the people with, Bill Gates and the Epstein file people, they're very scared right now that Kash Patel was just confirmed. We'll put it that way. But it's great to see and, just full speed ahead, right? Full speed ahead. But all right, next topic. Democrat Representative Jasmine Crockett apparently hates the idea of the DOGE dividend. And look at how she just tries to spin it into some sort of terrible thing, and Donald Trump is terrible. Here's the clip.
Now, President Trump says he likes the idea of giving some of the savings from DOGE back to Americans as kind of a dividend. Would you support that?
Listen, he's just telling a lie. He's not the one that had anything to do with the $1,200 refunds that people had during the midst of COVID that was done by a Democratic House and Democratic Senate. Right now, what they're going to do is say, hey, we want to give you a refund, but Congress won't let us because they already know that there's just no money for that. The only reason that those refunds came before was because we were living in different times. This was a time in which hopefully we won't ever go through again. We had a once in a lifetime pandemic. The bad part is that I don't know if it's once in a lifetime because we know that Ebola, unfortunately, was detected right here in New York here recently. And if we continue down this road of getting rid of scientists or deciding that we don't want to rely on experts as it relates to what they're telling us to do, or we don't want to deal with vaccines and medicine in this country, then we may be facing not only our next pandemic, but our next 2, 3, or 4 pandemics because of their incompetence Canadians. So no, we are not in the business of giving out money. And honestly, I don't know what $5,000 will do for you.
Isn't it just classic how she tried to make it out where like, oh, Donald Trump wasn't a part of that $1,200 they sent everybody during COVID. But, you know, him sending 50 or $5,000 to people, what is that? That's nothing. It's just hilarious how, you know, this is how they act, right? First of all, this woman has called for reparations in the past, so now she's saying, oh, we don't need anything, that's nothing. But she's called for black people to get reparations in the past, you know? So what do you want? Do you want the handout or do you not want the handouts? Because, I mean, I think the Democrats usually want the handouts, right? They're the party of handouts. But now all of a sudden, when the money just isn't printed out of nowhere and it's completely retrieved from a dumpster fire and they're just trying to give people money back, all of a sudden it's some like BS thing that just doesn't really matter anyways. But when, you know, when people were given $1,200 for COVID, that was, you know, that was real, right? That was real. But, you know, Donald Trump giving $5,000 of their money back, that's nothing. Unless he's giving it to black people and only black people, it doesn't matter. But even if he said, you know, we're giving black people $3 million, people like that would still find a way to hate Donald Trump. Because, you know why? TDS. That's why. But all right, next topic. The USA-Canada Four Nations Championship Final was last night. And, you know, if it wasn't a political thing happening with Canada and the US, the game would have completely flown under the radar and just not meant anything. But it became a huge game, right? And it was a great game, you know, and Canada did end up winning 3-2 in overtime. And, you know, good for Canada. This is basically their Super Bowl, and they needed this one because, I mean, obviously America's just winning at everything right now. And Canada, they're just very few and far between wins lately. So, if any. I don't know if they've had any. They've just been losing a ton. But yeah, you know, I mean, you got to give credit where credit was due. They played a good, strong game. And, you know, I guess it's okay for them to have one last win as a country, you know, before they become the 51st state. And they just have to claim America, you know. And it'll just be America versus America in these games, you know. And it's going to be a great thing and good for the Canadians, you know. I mean, I'm sure the majority of them wouldn't mind being Americans, right? And they won't have to they won't have to boo our national anthem. You know, there was the whole contentious thing. Are we going to boo their anthem after they booed our anthem? And you know what? Usually I would say you shouldn't boo a country's anthem. You know, it's the national anthem of a country. It should be respected, especially during a sports, you know, a sports event. But hey, they set the precedent. They booed us first, right? And I'm definitely not above booing. I'm not above booing a national anthem. I'm just not going to be the one to initiate the booing of a national anthem. But hell, you boo us, you bet your ass I'm booing you back. But all right, that's it for today. Be sure to subscribe. We'll be seeing you.